Joining us now is Dr. Donald Jensen, who is the treasurer of AASLD, and also Dr. Gary Davis, who is the secretary of AASLD. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to ask you about the late-breaking sessions on hepatitis C virus. There are a lot of exciting new developments surrounding treatment in this area. Is that right?
Very much. This is an exciting new era that we're entering in hepatitis C therapy, leaving behind, at least partially leaving behind, the era of interferon-based therapies and getting into more potent, better tolerated therapies for hepatitis C.
You agree?
Yes, and the toxicity of the therapies up until this point has been pretty significant. We prevented a lot of people from being treated, so some of these new therapies decrease the toxicity quite significantly.
And we're hearing that at least two major drug companies are either presenting research on interferon-free treatment for genotype 1, or they're nearing FDA approval of a new class of drugs. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, one of the first abstracts in the late breakers is about a non-nucleoside polymerase inhibitor, along with a PI and a 5A inhibitor, which are the two drugs that were just recommended for approval by the FDA, or similar to those two drugs. And that's interferon-free for 12 weeks with very high response rates. So it's a new time with a lot of new targets in the virus to go after. And it's an exciting time. We'll be able to mix and match a little bit, I think, to get the best results for our patients.
Is it fair to say these are the kinds of treatments people have been waiting for a long time?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And many of the patients that are being or will be treated with these new therapies have either failed previous therapies or have mild enough disease that they can afford to wait for some of these new therapies. So it is a time when we're going to see really an increase, a significant increase in the number of treated patients, we hope, over the next several years. That tied into the CDC recommendation that baby boomers, those born between 1945 and 1965, get tested one time for hepatitis C, which should uncover another 800,000 hepatitis C patients that previously were undiagnosed. So those two things together will significantly impact the number of patients hopefully treated.
I was asking about the headlines coming out of this session. Is that one of them, or tell me about some more maybe?
Well, in this session, we're not focusing on the baby boomer cohort screening. That came out in August of 2011 from the CDC, but we think it will impact how the patients are being approached for treatment going forward.
There is one abstract in the session about screening baby boomers. They screened patients who came into an emergency room at a major trauma center. And 12% of the baby boomers were positive for hepatitis C. 12%.
That's huge.
It's huge.
All right, any more headlines that we should take note of?
Well, I think one of the things that in our session will be the impact of treatment on patients who have had liver transplants for hepatitis C. And again, an oral combination of a nucleoside inhibitor called sofosbuvir plus ribavirin in patients who have had a liver transplant and are hepatitis C positive. After that transplant, those patients can be treated very effectively. About 80% of them cured of their hepatitis C with this treatment, which will decrease or eliminate the need for retransplant, for another transplant for their hepatitis C. So that will be significant, thinking that we do about 6,000 liver transplants in the United States annually, and about 40% of those are for hepatitis C. That's another significant impact.
Sounds exciting, a lot to look forward to. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.